Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be looking at the 100K Amazon FBA secret. And once you learn this particular secret and strategy that I'm going to teach you today, it will allow you to create a business that can make easily over £100,000 selling on Amazon and way beyond that if you absolutely nail it. So if you're interested in this sort of content, make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. First things first, guys, I just want to let you know that I'm currently running training at the moment for something very, very special. The first link in the description, you'll be able to register for that training absolutely free, and I'll explain a lot more, obviously, actually on the training. So if you want to do that and you want to learn more about how to set up your Amazon FBA business and you want to do it with just one product, then hit the training or hit that link down below and register. After you've watched this video is going to be really, really important, and it's going to really help you, not just if you're looking to start selling on Amazon, but if you actually already are selling on Amazon, but you're kind of struggling to make it work. That's okay, because you probably haven't been made aware of these particular skill set or things that you need to do to make your product as desirable as possible. So make sure you have a pen and paper at the ready, because we're going to jump into it right now. So today we're really going to be talking about images. What I'm going to talk you through, I'm going to go into my computer in a second. I'm going to show you the hydrofuel images when they started compared to where they are now, and even what I'm thinking about doing in the future with them to make them as high converting as possible. Because if you don't do what I'm about to show you today, it means that people, customers get confused with what you're actually selling. They don't understand what the true benefits of your product are. You might not even have professional quality photos, so they just click off your listing because it doesn't look high quality. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're going to go over, but also I'm going to look at the flip side, about the positive, about what you need to do to actually make your products pop and your images really stand out amongst the competition that is on Amazon at the moment. So let's jump onto the computer. I'll share my screen and we're going to do some analysis of my old product photos compared to the new ones, and we're even going to analyze the newer ones and look at how we can improve them going forward, because there's definitely some opportunity. So let's go and do that right now. So the big problems I see with images, and feel free to write this down, is that first of all, they're not professional standards, and I'm going to show you examples of how my photos nearly weren't to the professional standard. I'm going to give you some tips about how you can make your product photos more professional. The second thing is that they confuse the customer, right? They're not, for example, if the wording isn't laid out left to right, like in Western civilization, we read from left to right, so our eyes are automatically drawn to the left, or there's too much on the screen, so they kind of they try and communicate too much, and that's really the third thing, is that you're trying to communicate or over-communicate the benefits of your product, which meaning it actually confuses the customer and puts them off. So that's, again, one of the reasons why really product photos can be quite bad. And the last thing is that the product photos, because you get kind of 7 photos on desktop and mobile, and you get a couple of extra on computer, but if they're not in the right order, it can actually make a really big difference on your conversion rates for someone looking, like a session, which is a customer looking at your product, to a purchase, obviously someone buying your product. And if your first picture isn't on point, then that's going to really that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. If that's not good, then no one's even going to look at the bottom of it. So those are the kind of 3 or 4 reasons why people really mess up on their photos. And the way we combat those is that, and we create winning images, is we have super high quality, they're simple to understand, they communicate one benefit at a time, and they're in the most logical order that communicate the biggest benefits to your customers as soon as possible. So I'm going to show you some examples of how I did this, and how I kind of overcame it over the space of, this was literally over a space of a few weeks. So you're going to see the old photos compared to the new ones, and I'm even going to analyze some of the new ones and tell you where I think they're still a bit bad, okay? So let's jump into this right away. So on the left, you can see one of the old images I created for the hydrofuel bottle. Now, this was going to be the first image. As you might be able to see it, first image, just bottle, and then on the right-hand side, we have the actual image that I'm using at the moment, which is Hydrofuel Hero V5. So it's a 5th version of that particular layout. And what I was looking for here is, I was trying to think, okay, what is going to make someone click the listing? So what I actually did is, when I created this one, and there's actually a few things that are not quite right on this photo, so let me actually use the markup tool. You might be able to see this, that here, this is actually a drawing. So this catch here is a drawing, where on this, it's actually an image. Okay, so that was the first thing that you can obviously tell. If you were to zoom in, you can tell that this is not a picture of the product, it's a render. Whereas I wanted to actually add in the picture of the clasp, to make it look a little bit better. It's actually a bit dark at the moment. So what I actually did on this one, this is a render. So the bottle is actually a render, but what I did was I took the photo of the clasp and I added the actual button in from the photo rather than using this one here. And that's really important. It just makes it look a bit better, it adds a little bit more finesse to it. And obviously makes it high quality. Now the big problem here is all this water splashing that's going around, okay? It's quite distracting and it really doesn't tell you much about the product. It's a water bottle, we know it's a water bottle. So what I did is I started to create images a bit like this. Now they didn't look exactly like this one here. The phone was different sizes. The diffuser, or infuser, sorry, wasn't even there. The box was on the other side. And I started to show people which ones it look like. So what I would do is I would get a screenshot of the Amazon sales page of like the listings, and I would put in this photo, and then I would send them a different one with this photo and say which one are you more likely to click on. And then most people were more likely to click on the ones with the box, which is really interesting, and particularly with the phone. So what happened is I scrapped this photo and I started working on photos like this. And a few different variations of the bottle being bigger, the phone being smaller, there'd be 3 phones rather than 1, and eventually landed on this particular photo, okay? Now at the moment, I wouldn't change a huge amount with this other than I'm going to do one thing, because I currently have another bottle being made, which is a blue one. So I'm going to have a blue bottle placed in, I don't know why that moved up, just behind it, okay? So people can see that there's 2 different colors. Okay, and they're not currently being manufactured. I've just got some samples at the moment, but I'm going to add that in there as well. So that's where I can see the benefits of this photo in terms of how it can be improved. But it's important that the real things that you need to convey and communicate with your customers from this first photo, because your first photo is by far the most important one, because your PPC works better if you have a good photo, your organic conversions work if you have a better photo, is it needs to show the customer what they are buying, right? They can look at this photo without any words whatsoever, because you can't put graphics into your first image. It's against Amazon terms of service. So if you have like anything here, it's going to be against terms of service. They need to see what it comes with. So if someone looks at this and say, okay, it's a water bottle, there's some sort of app, right? There's some software or something which we might want to look at more in the pictures. There's this little disc here which looks like a little infuser disc, and it comes in a box, like a package, a really nice high quality package. So they know automatically what the product is and what kind of the main features are, right? It's a sports bottle. The main feature I want to communicate, okay, the absolute main feature I want to communicate is the application. That's how I differentiate myself from my competitors, is I have an application. This, other people have it. Boxes, other people have it. They're not as good as mine, but other people have it. The bottle, other people have the exact same bottle. What they don't have is the application. So that needs to be in the first photo. So think about your product and what is the most important benefit of your product. What's the key thing? Like maybe it's how it's used, or a bundle, or something that comes with it. Make sure it's in that first image. What I haven't had added in this image is I have an ebook as well, right? So I have an ebook that's created. I haven't put it in here. Should I? I don't really know. I probably could put it in there. Maybe it would overcrowd it. Maybe it would pull focus from the things I actually want people to know, like the application, but it's something that you can test in the future, and it's something I will test in the future as well. So that's the first image. You need to make sure that it's super high quality. Even make sure things like this, for example, that, you know, if it looks clearly like a design, then make sure you change it. So I don't know why those aren't adding in. Make sure you change it so it does look real, okay? Because it's really important that it looks real if you are using a 3D render, okay? That's exactly what I did. So let's, and of course, make sure that it communicates the main features or the main benefits of your product that you need people to know. Don't put everything in there because it can be overwhelming, and make sure it looks good. So show people your listing and or your picture, and just see what they think about it, okay? So that's the first one. Let's get rid of those. And let's go on to, I want to pull this one up, okay? This one and this one. And this is the first one I created because I based it off another top seller that was doing really well. And they had basically a big list of all of their features. And I was like, okay, cool, I can do a big list of features, easy, and I can put pictures and stuff like that. But what I realized is that when I showed this to people, no one reads this, okay? And a lot of people will do something very similar, where they'll add in loads of data, loads of information about their product. So they're trying to over-communicate the benefits of the product. And there's some wicked benefits in here, like, you know, being BPA free, the toxic free, so you don't get a plastic taste. Those are really, really important features that a customer is basically never going to see
because they're not going to read this, right? This is a no-no. Do not do this because customers do not read it. Equally with this, there's a feature there, right? The locking clasp. There's a feature there with the lid. There's a feature with the infuser. There's a feature with the clasp. And then for some reason, I put the whole bottle in again. Right? They already know what the bottle looks like. So all of this is overwhelming for a customer. There's too much to look at, and this is useless because they already know what the bottle looks like. So it doesn't make any sense. This image doesn't make any sense. So what I needed to do was to split it up into multiple images so I can convey the most important benefits and all of these features in isolation so that customers can understand and they can actually not get confused, right? Because this is too much information. When you look at this one, for example, I wanted to talk about the BPA free, okay? So I was like, okay, what out of here is about the environment or about like the plastic taste or anything like that, okay? So what I did was I tried to create something that was based around environmentally friendly because that's the benefit that I wanted to convey to people, is that it's environmentally friendly. And if they care about that sort of stuff, they can see about the BPA free, they can see about the toxin free tritan copolyester material, and then they can see a little bit about the frosted grey coating and the impact resistant stuff. But I didn't use the same image as I had used many times before. What I decided to do was have this kind of like wireframe or like type image made up. So it gave people something a little bit different to look at and was a bit more interesting. So I could convey those particular benefits of it being environmentally friendly, okay? I then did things like this. So look, we've got an infuser here. And we've got, main thing is the infuser. So I was like, that is a really important feature. So I need to make sure that I can communicate that properly. So rather than having it all in here, right, I made sure that I could very clearly communicate where it goes and what it does. So people know by looking at this particular graphic, which is all a 3D render, by the way, guys, that they can see that there's the actual product itself, the infuser disc goes in it, and then there's this little silicone seal which makes sure that it's that it's not going to leak, right? It's really important. And obviously the wide fill for filling up. Now that I could have put more in this page, but it's important that I need to communicate this feature. This is an important feature for my product, and where is it here? Here it's just lost, right? It's completely lost. You're never going to see that. So you need to dedicate a whole image to that one feature, okay? Let's see what else we did. Now this is the biggest thing that I did, right? Let me pull open the application. There was the previous version I had, right? There was no graphics, as you can see. There was no graphics for the fruit infuser. You couldn't see that it existed, and there was just text and these like logos, which doesn't really do anything for you. Like what's all this? It doesn't really make any sense. So you can see how you can communicate your benefits way better, right? If you just think about what's important. So that was a bad photo. And it was, again, the same image from before. So let's compare these two photos, right? Now this one that took a long time for me to do, because first of all, how do you communicate something that's actually quite complicated, right? So there needed to be a lot of text on here, but how was I going to pull attention to it to grasp someone's attention so that they would actually read it and they'd understand what the application is for? The first thing I did is I created this image here, and when I added it into my 7 images, I put it like 5th or 6th in the lineup. So it's like an afterthought of the product. And I started showing it to some people, and one person said, you know, the main feature of you, the main selling point for you, this product is the application, but it's the 5th or the 6th picture. You know, you need to put it higher up. It needs to be the main thing. So what I did is I exchanged it for the second photo in the listing. So the first is obviously my hero picture with all of the bundle put together. And the second is the application, because that's my main benefit. So what you have to do is you have to think about what is the main benefit of your product that differentiates you from your competition. Think about that and make a picture solely dedicated to that particular feature or benefit and put it in the second photo, because you want to be able to communicate to your customers as quickly as possible why your product is better than other people's, why it offers them a different opportunity or a better opportunity than your competition. If you're able to do that really quickly, then the next few photos people will scroll through, they're going to understand a bit more about your brand, they're going to understand why your product is better than other people's, and they're more likely to buy your products. So this is what I had immediately. Now the first thing that when I look at this is that first of all that's a lot of text and no one's going to read it, and equally on here there's a lot of text and I don't particularly like having a lot of text, but the main thing here is like, okay, box. Why does the box need to be in there? It's completely irrelevant that that is there. So first of all, we can get rid of that, or we can free up some real estate on this page, okay? I then wanted to show people what it looked like. So this at the moment is just a splash screen, which is just like, you know, when you open up an app, you get what's called a splash screen. And it doesn't sell the product, right? It just doesn't sell it at all. So what I did is went back to the drawing board and I looked at other people that sell apps. They're not like a bottle manufacturer, they are an app company. So I looked at how they do it, and quite a lot of them lay them out in this kind of like a flat design way. So I was like, okay, cool, we can do that. Took some screenshots on my phone and then started adding these in. And I was thinking, okay, how can I communicate the benefits? So I wanted to communicate 3 benefits: smart reminders, personalized hydration goal, and custom notification times. Those are the 3 things I wanted to communicate. So I wrote 3 short sentences, and it took a while to get down to these particular sentences, because what I would do is I would write this out and it would be 4 lines. And I'd be like, no one's gonna read that, right? No one is reading 4 lines. So you need to make it an easy sentence so that people can see that smart reminders, intelligent notifications, okay, cool, I understand that. I don't even need to read the rest because I understand what that means. The next thing, personalized hydration goals. You don't even need to read this little kind of subtitle because you understand what that is. And equally, custom notification times, again, you understand what that is. You don't need to read this. However, if you're really interested in it, you can if you want to. And finally, at the bottom, I was like, okay, how can I convey the benefits of this product? Oh, an arrow, nice. How can I convey the benefits of this product? So I added in a few bullet points as to why, you know, hydration is really important. Ultimately, I don't know if that would make a difference if it was there or if it's not. I'm trying to think about how I can communicate this in a better way, because for me, this is actually quite a lot of text that I'd rather not have there. But you guys can let me know what you think about that. But the main thing you need to communicate is the benefit, right? Is the feature. So people understand when they buy your product, this is what they're getting. This is the main thing that they're getting, right? The absolute main thing. And once I did that, my whole listing made a lot more sense. Have I got any more pictures to go through? Not quite. So what I'm going to do very, very quickly is just open up a web page, and I'm going to show you the kind of order that you're going to want to have your listing in. Okay, cool. So we're on Amazon, as you can see. Feel free to go and buy my product if you want to stay hydrated. It's very, 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 very good. We've got some app updates coming very, very soon, working with some developers so we can have some more features, do some bug fixes, all that sort of stuff. Also got the blue color coming very soon as well. Now, I'm going to go through these pictures and explain to you why I put them in this certain order, and it's hopefully going to allow you to understand a bit more about your product and how you can fully communicate the features and benefits of your product to your customers. So the first image, as we've gone over, it gives you an overview of the product, and importantly, it shows you why this one is different to the others. No other people offer this. So people are intrigued, they want to look at something, they go, oh, okay, what is this? And they click on it, right? That's the first thing you want to do, is you want to get someone to click your listing from ads or from organic search, right? That's the main thing you need to do. All this stuff here, no one cares about it. No one's going to even read it. It's your pictures. So the next thing you want to do, the second picture, is communicate the key selling point, you know, the thing that differentiates you from your competitors. Get that in your second image, okay? And it's important from then on, you're only communicating really 1, maximum 2 benefits per image. I see a lot of times people do what I was going to do, is have a big list of stuff, all this stuff pointing in at different directions, you know, annotating everything with all these different features, and it gets very confusing. So you don't want to give the person, the customer, too much information, because they're not going to read it. So the main benefit for this one is, my second biggest benefit is fruit infuser, right? You can infuse your fruit in it, which obviously ties into the ebook, okay? So I've pre-framed this ebook, right, by letting them know that there's a fruit infuser. The next thing I want people to know is that it's got this lid system, okay? Now this image, I actually don't like this image. I need to change this image because I don't believe it's really that good. I like the lid down here, and I like these things here, these little kind of little bullet points, but I do not like these. I really, really do not like them. My first version of these images, these actually look better. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board at some point and redo these when I get my brand registry come through, okay? Get some videos in there. And then I have one, right, just one lifestyle photo. Obviously, if you click, then you're gonna have the option to have 2 more. But on mobile, you only get 7 images. You can't have this ability to click and see through these. So these last 2 images, most people will never, ever see. So don't rely on them, okay? one lifestyle photo is more than enough because you need to communicate the benefits. The last two ones I have is the ebook, and this is a great selling point because it gives you extra stuff to talk about. It's free to create, free to sell, and again, a few bullet points as to why people should buy this, and a really engaging front cover, really colorful, really awesome. That was taken, I took that literally over there with my camera. I just went to Sainsbury's and bought some fruit and took a picture of it. It was nice and easy to do. The final thing I want to do is create this environmentally friendly, because that's really important for a lot of people. I don't like stuff going to landfill. I feel that's important for me, and I wanted to communicate that benefit, and I know a lot of people care about it as well. So if someone is interested in this, not everyone's going to care about environmentally friendly stuff, which is why I put it at the end, right? Because not everyone's going to care. It's kind of like an afterthought for a lot of people, whereas a lot more people are going to care about the ebook, a lot more people are going to care about the lid, because that is a key feature, a lot more people are going to care about it being the fruit infuser kind of little disc, and then obviously the app as well. So as you can see, I'm only communicating 1, 2, 3, kind of really 4 or 5 different benefits, and they each have an image to themselves. So when a customer's scrolling through, they click it and they scroll through. Why can't I scroll through? When they scroll through, they can see at a glance, literally just like this speed, they can see what it is. Right, okay, I understand, phone, yeah, interesting, little fruit infuser, something to do with the lid, a little book, and environmentally friendly, right? They can see very, very quickly, and that's the sort of speed you need to be going through your photos, because that's how fast people scroll, right? They literally scroll like that sort of speed. So you need to be able to see what your product photo is, or what your benefit is at this sort of speed, all right? So you do that with yourself, maybe record your screen, send it to a friend and see what they think, so that they can say back to you, they can repeat back to you what the key benefits or what the key features are for your product. And if you do it like this, okay, and I'm not saying these are the best photos ever made, they're not, there's room for improvement for sure. But if you do it this way, it's going to be a lot easier for your customers to understand what your product actually is and why they should buy yours rather than your competition. It's going to make your PPC work better. It's going to make your organic rank work better. Any advertising you do, it will work better. Your customers will be happier because they're going to understand why they're buying your product. In your reviews, they're going to mention these things. I get so many reviews, you can have a look at them, talking about not leaking or the app. Some of them are negative, of course, because there's bugs, but people will respond in the way that you want them to respond. They'll repeat back the benefits because you have made them important. You said this is an important feature of the product, buy it for this reason. So when they leave a review, they reference that important feature, which means more people buy your product because of that important feature. So hopefully that all makes sense. So just to cover that again, very, very briefly, let me just go back to my notes, just make sure I do cover everything. It's really important you have high quality images. So if they're a photo and they're not high quality, try and get them 3D rendered. You can use services like Upwork.com, create a job, and you can have it actually 3D rendered like I have done with these, which means that I can now go into something called Blender, which is a file, like a 3D operating space, I don't know what it's called, 3D thing, and I can actually have images exported at any different angle. I can move the lid, I can do all these sorts of cool things, and I can do that for no extra cost anytime I want to do that. So you want to make sure you have high quality photos. You want to make sure that you don't confuse the customer with too much information, right? This is borderline too much information for sure, but because I'm trying to communicate one particular benefit, I feel that it's okay. If this was all talking about different benefits related to the fruit infusion and all that sort of stuff, then it would be too much information, right? Only communicate one benefit per photo. You don't want to communicate too much. And then of course you want to make sure they're in correct order. So you have your most important features first, and then you go into the ones that are maybe not so important. They're not going to capture the attention of as many customers. And of course, one lifestyle photo at the very end. And if you want to add more, you can do. So when people are on desktop, they can actually see the extra photos. Winning images, they always are high quality. Okay, they are simple to understand. They communicate one benefit at a time, and they are in the most logical order for you and your customers. So hopefully you have enjoyed that today, guys. Again, if you want to learn more about selling on Amazon, I'm currently hosting some training, so you can click the link down below. You can register for that free training. Join me on like an hour and a half little session, and we can go through a whole bunch of stuff so you can understand not just more about this, but more about the overarching themes of how we actually get a product selling on Amazon, and we do it properly, right? What is it that all my 10K club members have done correctly and done well? What's the common denominators between them that have made them successful? So I'll go through that in that training. If you like this video and you found it informative and useful and you feel it's going to help you, then smash the like button. Of course, leave a comment down below. And if you've got any questions, let me know. Finally, make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.